Perfect. Mr. John Nkemnji. Yeah. Mr. Professor Dr. John Nkemnji. It's an honor to be with you.
Not too many names.
No, just John Nkemnji. You deserve them. You deserve those titles. And I come from a country where I just finished I handed in my doctorate thesis, and it's the Germans are very, 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 very serious when it comes to academic titles because they end them. So yes, they deserve to be respected.
The Germans and the Italians, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thanks so very much.
Professor Dr. John.
Yes, I've read and heard a lot about you, and finally I get to meet you.
It's an honor for me. I've always been looking forward to it. I saw many books published, and when you get to the books, you always see Nkemnji Global Tech. Nkemnji Global Tech. You can see here, dear viewers. Yeah. I'm here for a very important function. One of the first African native Bishop in the United States was appointed by Pope Francis on the 2nd of March 2021.
Which is great.
It was breaking because it had not happened before. Historic.
Yes.
So I took it upon myself to make the bishop known.
Which is great.
Yeah, so I'm trying to come out with a book.
I think the church is diversifying, and we really welcome that.
Okay.
The current Pope has done a lot to open up the church.
Exactly.
Take out the mystery there, know that it's there to serve the people, to invite everybody, both good and bad, into the fold, and we all look forward to that end salvation.
Oh, thank you so much.
And by promoting people from different races, different backgrounds, I think the Pope has done well.
Okay, I'm so impressed by that.
And you going around and interviewing, you make the bishop very well known.
Exactly.
Which is great.
I'm happy to hear that. That's the intention, to make it known and to get impressions of different people on his appointment.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
So before I go to like my questions on the bishop, I would like to know more about you. Where were you born?
Fontem in Cameroon.
Oh, really?
The English part of Cameroon.
Of Cameroon.
Now in a big struggle.
In a terrible crisis.
Trying to gain their independence.
Yes.
Yes. I usually have a program that I watch.
Okay, I see. And it alarms at the particular
exactly.
time.
Because I'm someone who does so many things. Wow. So if I do not have the alarm to remind me,
you will forget.
I will just forget.
Wow. I see.
It comes up once a week.
I see.
Mondays at 7:30.
Oh my God. Dear viewers, I have the honor to conduct this interview with Professor Dr. John Nkemnji. He's an emeritus professor at the University of Wisconsin, and he's an erudite Catholic. He has a lot of experience back home of the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, and we are going to get to know that in the course of our interview.
I went to Catholic schools at home.
Exactly.
I was a Catholic school teacher.
Okay, you see.
And I've continued with teaching.
Exactly.
After arriving in the United States.
Can you imagine?
I still keep in touch with the Catholic mission in Cameroon.
Yes.
I have friends who are religious
priests,
priests and so on.
So you were born in where? Did you go to school there for the primary school?
I went to primary school in Fontem.
Oh wow.
The Catholic school in Belém.
I see. How many years were you there?
Was there for, it used to be 8 years.
Okay.
I think they have changed the primary school system to 7 years. After 8 years, I went to Bojongo.
I see.
Teacher training college, still Catholic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who was the principal, if I may ask?
James Toba.
Monsieur James Toba.
Yes.
Of glorious memory.
Exactly. Not too long ago.
Exactly.
Yes.
The pastor.
In the US, I had the opportunity to visit Bota.
Oh, did you?
Met him there.
Oh my God.
Introduced myself. And he said, oh, this was one of my great students.
Oh, you remembered you?
He was there. Yes, nobody can forget that name.
Okay.
I used to be editor of the local college paper.
I see, the local college of St. Paul.
Yes.
Interesting. So you were publishing journals?
Yeah, we were publishing journals.
Wow. Who brought up the idea, if I may ask?
The students.
Okay.
Yeah. The teacher training colleges were a little bit different from secondary schools. So in the teacher training colleges, the students actually manned the government and did many things, brought in innovations and set pace and did what they wanted to do.
I see. That's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So you were there for 7 years?
I was there for 5 years.
Oh, and then what happened next?
After graduation, I went to teach in Tico.
Oh, I see.
A Catholic school. We used to call girls Catholic school Tico.
Oh, so from there you became a teacher immediately?
A grade 2 teacher.
A Catholic grade 2 teacher?
Yes.
Why is the formation of Catholic teachers different from government teachers, if I may ask?
The religious point of view.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
The discipline.
Exactly. They call the Christian values.
Exactly.
And moral values.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the main difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Tico,
yes,
I went to do the grade 1 in Kumba, GTTC.
Oh, I see.
And after that, I went to teach in Edea.
Wow, you went to the Francophone area.
Francophone area.
And you taught English?
I taught English to French-speaking students.
Interesting. How was the experience there with the French-speaking? Did they value English?
Not as much as the English students value French. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what happened next after a day?
After a day, I decided to further my experience in education. First, I tried going to the University of Boya.
Okay, you tried
teaching
and studying.
Oh. But my transfer from Edea to Yaoundé did not hold, and there was just no way I could study at the university still teaching in Edea.
Okay.
So I decided to come to the United States.
I see. So how was the transition from Cameroon to the United States? Did you have difficulties to get a visa?
Oh, no. At the time, it was easy for you to get a visa.
Okay.
If they knew you had a good background, you had a way to pay your fees. I think it was not as difficult as it is now.
Okay.
And many Cameroonians who came abroad at the time studied and went back to Cameroon to help.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only now that they know, because of the economic crisis, if people come abroad, they hardly want to go back.
I see.
And actually, when I graduated from Bojongo, from Wyoming, Laramie.
Okay. Where's that from?
That's in Wyoming. Laramie is the capital of city of Wyoming, which is a state in the U.S.
Wow, interesting.
I wanted to go back to Cameroon,
okay,
but I thought I should study some more.
Okay.
I moved from Laramie to Ames, Iowa.
Wow.
A neighboring state to Wisconsin.
Okay.
I did started with a master's there.
Okay. So you did a bachelor's in
Laramie, Wyoming.
In which particular course? Which specialization?
Education.
Okay. You're an educationalist.
Yes. Instructional technology.
Wow.
Communications.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you then went to do a master's in the same domain?
In the same area, yes.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Then after that you
went to Texas and I did a PhD.
Oh, in the same
area.
That's quite remarkable.
At that time, computers were coming up.
Exactly.
So I started specializing, and instead of communication in general, I specialized in instructional technology, teaching with computers.
Okay.
When I finished in Texas, I found a job in Wisconsin.
And you've been here till today?
I've been here. Oh, I thought I was going to be here for a year or so.
You can imagine?
But 1 year after another, and I'm still here.
Wow.
Even after retirement, I don't think I'm going back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because you've been used to the place.
Not only used to the place, the situation back home.
Exactly.
When you go in, I think...
Massacre.
Yes, the massacre back home.
It's inhuman.
Our compound in Fontaine has been burned down.
Oh.
Things taken out, stolen, and so on.
It's a terrible situation.
I don't know when that will be repaired. I don't know when the war is going to end. Yeah, it's a senseless war.
And it is 5 years now.
5 years.
Can you imagine?
Children are not going to school. Yes.
And
very few
are going left, right,
Exactly. And those who are going to school, their lives are not really guaranteed. They can be killed at any time.
We pray for a swift and quick solution.
That's what we have been praying for. But it looks like those in power
yes
do not want
They don't
listen.
They don't want him to object.
And it looks like they are being controlled from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because if they really cared about their population, they will not be killing their. For what? Tell me why they are doing that.
Oh my God.
The crisis started as a request for
it's a peaceful demonstration.
Good education, good courts.
Yes.
Or instead of sending French teachers to come teach English students.
And that's your domain, so you know what that means.
Sure. If you are teaching somebody in a language you don't understand, how can you really do a good job teaching? I have been writing a lot on education.
Okay, I'm impressed.
And I know the education we go through is not education that will make us develop well and build ourselves and build our nations. So we need to rethink the whole system.
Okay. I'm so impressed by your...
But those in power, for some reason, they don't want any change.
Which is quite abnormal.
It's abnormal. Yeah. One shot in human life is change.
Exactly.
And if we do not embrace change, we do not welcome change, what do we think we are really doing?
Oh my God. So during your studies in at Bojongo, did you ever see any bishop?
Yes.
I hear the time was
Bishop Awa.
Exactly.
Yes. He used to come spend some time in Bojongo.
Okay.
Monsignor Toba was his good friend.
Exactly.
He used to come there for retreats.
Okay.
There's something that happened.
Tell me.
The Bakuri culture, one of our good friends, a student, was missing.
Oh, really? Missing
yes,
in school?
Missing.
Oh my God.
Nobody could trace him.
Oh.
So they believe that the native culture also had kidnapped him for some reason.
Okay.
Bishop Awa came and spent a week with us because the students were really frightened.
Okay.
And we were trying to balance church and culture.
Okay.
And he was telling us to be calm and that the boy was just missing and he would be back and so on.
Yes.
Yes. And the juju people were there doing their own juju.
Oh my God.
As young people who really did not know what to believe.
Exactly.
But the students who were from the area really believed that he had been taken away by some evil forces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that situation end?
If they finally discovered him sitting somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Was it normal?
He was really confused.
Oh my God.
That was during the rains.
Okay.
But he was very dry.
Wow.
There was no shade, there was no, nobody knows what he was eating. And he was missing for about a week.
And he was alive?
He was alive.
So what did he say?
His close, he did not know why he was there. He did not know he had missed school. He did not know his friends were looking for him.
That's serious.
Sometimes you don't know what to believe.
So apart from that experience, did you ever meet the bishop? Did he confirmation and all that?
Yes. I met him a number of times.
Okay.
Yes.
And I saw a wonderful letter he wrote to you. That shows how honored you are. And
he wrote the letter to me when I was already in the U.S.
Exactly. That's what makes it very special.
Yes. And that was in reply to a letter we had written to him.
Okay.
Following the crisis he had with Reverend Etienne.
Etienne Kumba.
Yes, and the Maranatha.
And you were the president of LECA?
I was the president of LECA.
Then?
Yes.
Wow.
And students, the population asked me to write the bishop. Okay. Because it was becoming a problem between the bishop and the Bangwa or the Lebialem people.
That's true.
Yes. After Etienne was taken away from Bojongo, he was sent to Bamenda.
Exactly.
Instead of being kept in Boya.
Exactly, his diocese.
Yes. He was asked to do a number of things, which he did.
Exactly.
The bishop did not seem satisfied.
Okay.
He just sidelined him and sent him to his father's house. And Etienne did not want to leave the Catholic Church. So a number of people had to appeal to the bishop. and I was one who wrote forcefully to him.
Okay.
And after a while, he replied to me and said there was going to be reconciliation.
Oh, I'm happy to hear.
I'm glad that there was finally reconciliation.
Oh
yes.
my God. Oh, wow. So he came to the U.S.?
Yeah, he came to the U.S. and was studying in California.
Okay.
But that was after a while.
Exactly.
They had suggested that he could go study in Rome, he could do this, he could just be obedient and go become a parish priest.
That's true.
And I think he obeyed, he did as much as he wanted. But the population back at home were in desperate need of counseling, of somebody who could pray for them, who
and
could pray
with them. In counseling.
Yes, yes. And a year he even had prayed for Cardinal Chumi.
Okay.
He had some problem with his leg. Yes. And for many other priests and religious and lay people, and many confess that following his prayers, they got well.
Yes.
So I really don't know what the bishop wanted from him.
Even my grandmother.
Good.
Yes.
Yes. So it goes back
to crisis.
It goes back to that experience in Buju
Exactly.
about church and tradition and so on. Yeah.
Wow. I'm very happy you've elucidated that incident and trying to relate it with church and culture.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We are part of the culture,
yeah.
you know. We can...
blind obedience. I think that's what the Catholic Church deserves of its priests.
Okay.
But sometimes you need to allow them to think freely.
Exactly.
Explain if they are helping the community.
Explain
if their services are being demanded. If you look at those old priests who came to Cameroon, some of them were carpenters, bricklayers, road diggers,
exactly.
like John the Road.
Yes.
If they said all they were going to do is mass and mass, the place would
not have developed.
Open or it developed. Yeah. So if a reverend has some talent that is given by God, allow them to shine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a very important point. They are human beings.
They are human beings.
And they have talents.
And they have talents.
And
everybody is blessed with something extra. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Some of them are just great intellectuals. Yeah. Allow them to go teach or write or research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you, the bishop, cannot do what a priest in your diocese can do not say no. He's overshadowing me.
No. It's all about the church, serving the church,
exactly.
serving the one body.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that important contribution. Yeah. So you were here in the educational setting and you were successful, and after your retirement you have been doing a wonderful job of publishing. You can see here some books which you have published through the Nkemnji Global Technology. Tell me where that passion, when did you discover that? When did you become interested in publication? Because it's really a legacy.
I think it's a legacy and it continues.
Okay.
I realized that we had very few publications in Africa, the cradle of civilization, with a lot of knowledge.
Exactly.
And much of what was going on was oral literature.
Nothing written.
And our experts were dying with
them.
Lots and lots of knowledge.
That's true.
In 81, when I went to Cameroon to visit as a student from the United States,
okay,
I wanted to send back postcards to my friends here.
Okay.
Search a lot, and I could not find any postcard.
Oh.
So I said, I'm a good photographer. Let me take some pictures, come out here and do postcards.
Okay.
So I started by publishing postcards, travel
okay.
postcards.
Cameroon mountains,
Cameroon, yes, Boya, and the rest from them. So many areas that I have postcards online.
That's quite remarkable.
Then from there, I said, okay, let's do some publications. As president of LECA-USA,
yes,
we used to come present papers.
Okay.
And I thought it would be a good idea for us to gather those papers into manuscripts.
Okay.
And also as a non-profit group, we're expected to come up with an annual report every year.
Yeah, about what is happening.
Sure. And that really helped many people know more about LECA at the time.
Exactly.
the embassies. We used to invite people to come from Cameroon to present, and it served as a good public relations.
Wow.
Yeah, it also helped motivate those talented LECAs, people who could publish. They had a venue that they could publish.
Exactly.
So that's how things have been going.
Wow.
And now, as a retired teacher, I have all the time to to work on publications.
I see.
Yeah.
And I'm so impressed by this publication. The Hard Struggle for the Catholic Priesthood. This was a book that was written by Monsieur Luc Atang about his experience of priesthood. It was published in Macacos in Douala. I remember the copy was not as professional as this one. Look, this one have clear pictures. It's so remarkable.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Chris Atang, who is a relative of Monsignor Atang, knew what I was doing, and he said, "John, my brother wants a publisher." I said, "Oh, I would have published his book," and that's how we got that out.
This is wonderful. It looks very clean. Then you have Lebialem Issues and Challenges at Century End.
Yes, this was edited by Fonkem during one of our LECA events.
I see.
When Lebialem was made a
division
after a lot of struggle.
Oh my God.
We were trying to reflect on what challenges are there and how we can move the division out. And that's why you have that 99. Many Cameroonians call Lebialem 99.
Exactly.
Saying that they are capable or they are intelligent
They're
or they are
extremely intelligent.
And we made fun of that title, but at least it's teaching.
Yeah.
There are some articles in there that really show that the Lebialem people are capable, both at home and abroad.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Then we have Blm Development Partnership.
Yes. We were trying to help develop Lebialem, and we needed to work with people back home. Exactly. That's why that title was coined up, Lebialem Development Partnership.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. This is exemplary. And we have Lebialem Education Partnership.
Yes, we've been investing a lot on education in Lebialem.
Okay.
So we think partnership is really good. Those abroad and those at home have to work hand in hand in order to help raise standards.
Why do you think education is primordial and of utmost capital importance?
Education is very important because that helps us reflect, grow, and change for ourselves, for our society, and for the world. We believe an educated citizenry is able or is better equipped to develop itself and society and to live in harmony with others.
Exactly.
Yes. You have people now going to the moon, inventing a variety of things. Without education, that would not be possible.
Wow.
Back in Africa, in Cameroon in general, we have these old, intelligent people who die with the knowledge in their heads. Because they could not read or write or pass on that. If they were educated in some format, then we will be able to look at our traditional medicine people. We'll be able to talk about that mystic between science, religion, and culture. So I think education is really, really important for the development of any society you believe in. A lot of money is being invested in education worldwide. We want to see, yes, what that investment does.
Wow, that's quite remarkable. Education.
I believe in everybody being a lifelong student or learner.
Ongoing.
Because things just keep changing.
And life is a learning process. You learn every day with our experiences.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so impressed. Then this is Lefwa in Lebialem, Decline or Transformation. This is quite interesting. This was edited by Fonkem Achenka.
Yes. The culture in Lebialem.
Yes, Professor.
Some people think that it is declining. Some people think that it's just changing.
Okay.
In this publication, we have over 10 contributors.
I see.
Arguing that title. Are we moving ahead? Are we just doing something different? Are we moving behind?
I see.
Yes, and that, as you said, that was edited by Fonkem Achenka.
I see. Wow.
I have an article on education.
Oh, I see.
And in my article, I think that the education that our chiefs are currently getting
yes,
has helped bring down the fuel.
Oh.
If you look at those chiefs who did not go to what we call white man's school, okay. They went to school somehow. They were schooled in the culture by their parents. If you knew your child was going to succeed, yes, you showed him what you learned, or what you sent him to go learn this and this from the elders or so.
That's true.
And when they took over from you after you had gone, they had to continue with that tradition. But now we have young chiefs in schools, in foreign schools, and we bring them back to continue with the tradition. And they are torn between the tradition and what they have learned in this white man's school.
Or politics.
Yes. Well, they are involved in politics.
Can you imagine that?
Sure. They want to earn a living. Okay. But in those days, or in the olden days, all what we had belonged to the palace, belonged to the chief. Exactly. And all what was in the chief's palace belonged to us. We used to go there and the chief would entertain us. But at the moment, if you go there, if you don't know anybody there,
you can be
you may not be entertained.
Oh my God.
The chief is looking at, how do I buy a phone? How do I buy a car? How do I maintain this? How do I fly for vacation?
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
That's serious.
And people are saying, oh, if this is what the chief is concerned, why must I give him the product from my farm, or what my talent? Why must I can't do free labor for him?
Okay. Yeah. That is serious.
Yeah. So if we have to change,
yes,
I think the education that the chiefs are receiving has to change too.
You have to be very, very serious, and they have to be custodians of culture.
You use the right word.
It's custodian.
Yes. And not just professionals for themselves. I can work with the government and get my money, and I don't care about the public. No. You did not put me there, you did not elect me.
Can you imagine that?
Yes. But in those days, with the education that the chiefs received traditionally, they knew that they were serving the people. Without the masses, they would not be chiefs. Wow. And the people knew that without the chief, their society would not hold together.
That's true.
We need to come together and pray for rain so that our crops can come. But now you talk to a chief, say, we don't need that. We don't need such prayer. That is a primitive belief.
Can you imagine?
And primitive belief has its place.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's primitive. Yeah.
Wow. That's serious.
Some of the very, very bad things that are coming to our community now, nobody, science cannot even explain.
Yeah. It's quite.
Yeah.
The culture has been some fun to see people. You see them shaking hands.
Sure.
I mean that respect is
eating in public.
Can you imagine?
Yes. Being controlled by young people who have left now.
Okay.
Yeah. The palace never traveled. The palace never went anywhere. But the small Jindan will tell the chief to come.
And he will go.
Do things, and he will go report, because he believes without that, they may lock him up, or they may do. We know a number of chiefs who have been hurt or who have been harmed.
Yes.
Yeah, palaces which have been burned down. That was unheard of.
Exactly. They were paramount. They had their
sure.
They were totally. They had their
jurisdiction,
exactly.
Their power,
they had
their authority.
Which the state.
They will even believe that their powers came from God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They could do divination and so many things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this book is quite remarkable.
I think this book, every Lebialem person should try and read a copy of Lebialem.
Oh my God.
Decline or Transform. And I pray the editor for that. He worked so hard to put it together. He himself is a chief.
Exactly.
And he believes we need to take care of our culture.
He's a custodian of the culture.
Yeah, he's a custodian.
Very distinguished.
Anybody who wants to succeed and become a chief, who wants to be promoted to be a chief, must have that cultural goal in mind. Yeah. It's not just the title.
No.
The functions are there.
And you must live to it.
Yes, you must perform those functions.
Interesting. I quite enjoyed the article about the illiteracy, elitism, and the disintegration of chieftaincy.
Yeah.